Hi guys, my name is Mary Howard. I graduated from Bob Jones in 2008 and the University of North Alabama in 2011. I currently work at WRCB Channel 3 News in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I am a web producer and assignment editor. So I went to the University of North Alabama right out of college. I looked at a few other schools. I had originally planned on going to Arizona, but my parents wanted me to stay in-state, and so I ended up going to UNA. It has a beautiful campus. If you ever visit, we have live lions, if that convinces you to go to the school at all. But I studied broadcast journalism with an emphasis, obviously, in television, but I also studied print media. I studied radio. I also studied entertainment media, such as editing, shooting, things like that. So while I was there, I was very active in my newspaper program. I was also active in my university program council. And like I said, I studied as much journalism as I could. So I highly encourage when you're looking for colleges, don't necessarily think you have to go to the biggest journalism school in the country. Look for schools that have good journalism programs, but also schools that have good media programs, because if they don't have a good entertainment media program, you're not going to get that hands-on experience you need, because really the journalism program is going to be able to teach you some of the fundamentals of journalism, but the entertainment media aspect of the school is going to be able to teach you how to shoot, how to edit, how to do things to make it look good. So I do highly encourage that. I know Alabama has a really good journalism program. I think Auburn just started a journalism program. Obviously, UNA, it's got a pretty good journalism program. But really, your degree is secondary to experience. So while you are in school, take internships. I also encourage you take that opportunity to expand, to look beyond Alabama, because you can get internships all over the world. I have friends that interned in Chicago, Atlanta, New York. These internships are ripe for the picking. A lot of them, the bigger internships, you do need to apply months in advance, just because there are so many people applying for them. But, once you have it, that's your ticket to get that experience. So your internships are really, really, really important, because your internships are experience you can use on your resume. I interned at WAFF 48 News in Huntsville. I really loved my internship. I got to do some really fun stuff, but one of the reasons my internship was so beneficial to me was because I treated it like a job. I went to my news director, who was Adam Henning. He's a great guy. If you ever contact him to try and intern there, they love interns at WAFF. I coordinated with him what days I would be there, what times I would be there. There's multiple cities as far as WAFF is concerned, so I coordinated what days I would be in what city. I swapped between Huntsville and Florence. But I treated my internship like a job, and it rewarded me, because a month after I graduated, they hired me. He actually tried to hire me before I graduated, but it didn't work out. And so they found a position for me. As soon as it opened up, they called me and said, "Do you want this job? It's yours." So I started out, after I graduated, I started out part-time in production. So pretty much what I was doing was I was doing the studio cameras. So when you watch the news and you see those shots of, Mark and Kim and Liz, the production crew, me, we were the ones that set up those shots. So that's what I did for the first couple of months. I proved myself. 2 months after I started, they created a full-time position for me and hired me full-time. What I was doing was not what I went to school for, and I stress, do not limit yourself. All employers are looking for is experience, and I was getting newsroom experience, and that's really all that matters. So I started full-time as a web producer. Pretty much what I would do is I would post stories that came in either through email, if they were on the show, if they were breaking. I would take those stories, I would post them first to the web, to WAFF.com. and then I would take them and we would put them on Facebook and we would put them on Twitter. News media has really, really evolved in the past 20 years in the fact that now we can break news not just on air, but we can be the first anywhere. Newspaper used to be that first go-to for breaking news. Now, print or broadcast journalism is. Because we can use Twitter, we can use Facebook, we can use WAFF.com, we can use the television. We have so many facets to get that news out there to you as soon as it happens. So now we've really evolved into a news now kind of world because we have those tools at our disposal. So I worked as a web producer for about a year. I really wanted to do more than that. I do eventually want to be a producer or a reporter. Currently, I am at Chattanooga. I'm at WRCB. It's the NBC affiliate in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm a web producer and assignment editor, which means I do the same thing I did at WAFF, but now on the weekends I'm the assignment editor, which means I talk with the reporters. I figure out what stories they're going to do for the day. I help them get in contact with sources. And then I also keep our website up to date. I keep our Facebook and Twitter. We moderate those. So if people are being really nasty, we go through and we either delete their comments or we tell them, be nice kind of thing. And then I also do the assignment editor on the weekend. So, it's really not that hard to get into the media if you know what you're doing. Whether you want to be newspaper, whether you want to be television, whether you want to be radio, whether you want to, be the next Martin Scorsese, just any of those kind of things, you have to realize you're probably not going to be in Huntsville, Alabama. You're just not. Media, no matter where you are, is generally very limited to big cities. If you live in a small city, where do you get your news? You get your news from Huntsville. You get your news from Decatur. You get your news from the Shoals. They've all got pretty much a main center, and that's where their news comes from. So it's not like if you wanted to be, a lawyer where you could be in any city you wanted. With media, with any form of media, you've got hubs, and you've got to get jobs in those hubs. With broadcast journalism, they're called markets. There's 210 or so markets around the country. So Huntsville is a market 80. New York City is a market 1. I could go into explaining that, but pretty much I have 210 markets to choose from. In each market, there's going to be about 4 or 5 news stations. Obviously, you've got ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, and then sometimes you've got a CW station, sometimes you've got a PBS station, and some forms like that. So when you're applying for a job, you have to realize you're going up against 200 other applicants for one position. So you really have to be able to expand where you're looking. You have to realize you may not get a job in Huntsville, Alabama. You may not get a job in the South. You have to be able to look everywhere for a job and not limit yourself. That's really all I can tell you is that's what I did. I was lucky. I was really lucky in that I was able to get that job in Huntsville, Alabama. But I knew if I wanted to move up in my career, I would need to go elsewhere. And so now I'm in Chattanooga, and I love Chattanooga. It's a wonderful place. I guess, that's really all I can tell you about my journey. Like I said, use that opportunity in college to travel, to go places, to get to expand your horizons, and don't limit yourself to Huntsville. And learn everything you can and get as much experience as you can, because that's what I did. And now I have a job in the media, and I love it, and it's wonderful. If you guys are ever in Chattanooga, Tennessee, come by the station. I'd love to give you a tour. If you have any questions for me, you can ask your teacher for my email address. I'm happy to answer any questions. Just if I didn't explain myself good enough, I'm sorry. But yeah, email me, come by the station. I hope you get started in the news because it's a really great field to be in. It's a really exciting place to be in, and it's a really it's a conversation talker because not a lot of people can say that they work in the news. So I hope that helped. Good luck. Thanks.